Can I say that? Okay, sorry, I'll start again. Hello, I'm Paddy O'Donnell and I'm brand ambassador at Farrow Ball. And this is where I live. Let me show you around. Into the kitchen. Don't judge me, it's a really old kitchen. Here, there's quite a lot. There's a door coming in, there's the pantry door, there's a chair rail, there's bookshelves. And so there's a lot of, I didn't want to frame those in an off-white or whatever, a contrasting color. So we kind of wanted everything to disappear. So this kind of just softens and obliterates it, you know, it makes the wall feel kind of more simple to live with. And the color I used here is an archive Farrow Ball color called Biscuit. It's a really lovely, easy neutral. It's got quite a bit of warmth through it. And as I'm a child of the 80s, the house is very much a homage to 80s decoration. It is my mother's house, and bless her, and it looked lovely in the 80s. But we've kind of tweaked it a little bit. I've gone slightly camp in here, so we've got a leopard print wallpaper, which is a really old Colefax paper that I've had for probably 30 years. I've been dragging it around in a bag, thinking, I will use this at some point. And kind of had fun. I've got loads of these green Majolica plates, which I love. I just kind of collect them from kind of junk shops and little auction rooms. More tat, and this is literally from Tat, Charlie Porter in London, the candelabras, which I really love. They're really sweet toll. Old mirror from Ireland. Candlesticks, got a lot of candlesticks everywhere. Lovely wheat sheaf lamp, which I really like, kind of 1960s wheat sheaf. This is my IKEA hack. I did a pair of these. They're trays, just kind of ordinary trays from IKEA. And I sanded them and painted them. And I had this box of intaglios. I just hoard stuff. So it's not like, there's no necessary rhyme or reason or logic of how things end up. It's usually a sense of where is available wall space, and then I just ram it up. So don't zoom in too close, because you will see holes on every surface where I've done a rehang. So here we are in my office. Used to be dark green. Those who've seen me on the Farrow Ball videos will know that it was dark green, Minster green, much beloved. But I decided to go for wallpaper in here. It felt like a change, and the walls were quite messy, again, because of my rehanging problem. So we've used this lovely paper that we just relaunched. It's an archive design of ours called Renaissance Leaves. Really sweet. I like small print wallpapers. I think they're really easy to live with. Wallpaper is quite a commitment for a lot of people financially, so I think, you know, the really nice small designs work a treat, because, you know, things still sit on them really, really well. It's a lovely stone blue, which is a really beautiful blue, and shaded white is the ground color. And what I've done here, nothing too imaginative, but it's really nice, is framing the paper by using the stone blue in the dead flat finish on the woodwork. And it just gives it a nice sort of weight to it. I think a white or the shaded white wouldn't have worked as well. I think the darker color just works really, really well with it. But my favorite thing here is my chest of drawers. And this is my drawer of tricks. A random thing, color boards. More wallpaper samples. Lovely thing, because when I'm kind of thinking about design, you know, it's not just a paint color. It is all the other elements. You know, I'm always saying to people, when you're thinking of a room, don't just think of the color. Don't tie yourself into the color. Think of all the elements that you're going to be bringing into that space. So your flooring, your fabric, even your artwork, you know, scale of furniture and everything. So I have this lovely, lovely box of fabrics, which kind of gets me very excited. More trims in the wrong drawer. It's a bit chaotic, but I kind of love it. I really like it. I think if you love interiors, this is really good to have a source pool of stuff. But I would always encourage everybody to make a physical mood board when you're considering a room, because you can see how all the colors work together and balance together. So most people will be really nervous about having wallpaper in a bathroom because of moisture levels, which is a very fair consideration. But most modern bathrooms will have good ventilation systems. This one doesn't necessarily have great ventilation, but the window is nearly always open and it's not a really powerful shower. And actually really, it doesn't steam up much in here at all. So I wanted paper in here. And this is an archive Farrow Ball paper called Orléans Stripe in two lovely colors. It's green ground. And then the print on here is Pointing, which is a classic white of ours. And the green ground is a lovely, soft, slightly sort of yellowish kind of pistachio. And I guess you can see I've got more stuff all over the walls. Madly, slightly camp lines. A print of kind of monkeys and palm trees and more animal print. So I'm clearly a buxom barmaid in a former life because obviously I love animal print. So that's, yeah, so don't freak out about wallpaper in bathrooms. It's really beautiful. It gives a lovely layered look, and I'm all for the layered look. More trompe l'oeil, or not necessarily trompe l'oeil, but more kind of design things you can do. And you can do it with new paint, or you can do it with leftover paint. And again, this is more leftover paint for me, and I was like, what can I do? And because I've got a kind of not particularly good piece of furniture, but kind of, you know, a period piece of brown furniture, I kind of thought it'd be quite funny to do something sort of ironic on the door. So I painted the whole door, I kind of broadened it, so I kind of taken the colour out beyond the architrave. And I created this broken pediment with little urns on it. And so I've kind of made this slightly grand looking door in a very ordinary 1930s suburban home. But I love it, it just kind of makes me chuckle. So more things you can do with leftover paint. So this is the latest room I've just done. Normally I don't do a lot of decorating. I have done a lot in the last 12 months, but only because this house needed it. I usually kind of decorate a room and then it's done for 20 years. But in here, this is a guest bedroom, but it's also my other half's atelier. He says very grandly. And if you don't know who that is, he's called Paul Bailey, and he has a little business called This Man's Work, and makes beautiful Bargello stitch, hand stitch cushions. But it is a guest room as much as his studio. And again, it wasn't, if I say things are on a budget, it sounds really disingenuous. But there are elements we couldn't change or I didn't want to spend the money on. So we couldn't have a new track here, the track worked. Had new curtains in here, it's lovely Sybil Colefax chintz. But I could see the trackboard, so I had some blue linen around. I'd actually just been for supper at Gavin Houghton's, and Gavin had this brilliant sort of pelmet that he'd done kind of freehand. So I kind of nabbed an idea from Gavin, as I always do. I'm a real sponge of people, so there's not an original bone in my body, but I kind of did a slightly different version. And I had some blue linen. I sent it to my brilliant curtain maker Debbie in Wales, and just did this template for her, and she sent it. So it's just double-sided linen, just velcroed up, and it hides the horrible track. So, you know, you don't have to spend a fortune. I think that it was my fabric, and I think it cost 120 quid to get made. And it kind of serves a purpose and is quite fun and decorative at the same time. What I like doing, and I certainly haven't invented this, it's a fairly common trope, but it's quite nice to break up the bookshelf with a piece of art or something. If you kind of think, how do you do this? It's really easy. In fact, it's really crude, and it might come out. I've got the smallest, weeniest picture hook. It's probably better if you've actually just got two. You don't need the hooks, but two pins here, which stops the movement so much. So this does move a lot. And that is it. The picture is highly strung on the back, which helps, but it's just kind of quite a nice shape. There you go. See, it won't go straight now. There you go. Et voila, it breaks up that whole kind of big book thing. And so you can put all your really crappy, cheesy titles behind there. So your Jackie Collins can go behind the picture. And the other thing I really love, and I think it's really worth knowing, is don't be terrified of using big furniture in small rooms, because I think the default is that everybody goes, oh, we've got a small room, so therefore we have to use small scale furniture, which can often look really mean and pinched. It's really important when you walk in the room, you don't want one eye level of things, you know, so everything kind of at this line. So this is really nice because it breaks up how your eye travels through the room, because it gives height as well. But also brown furniture is such good value at the moment. And then actually don't be afraid to have a bit of crap in your house. I've got plenty. And actually I've got a really, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world at all, but I love it because my godson bought me this at Christmas fair when he was about 3. And it's hilarious because if I blow at the elephant's bum, and so yes, it's a piece of tat, but I love it, and it makes me think of my lovely, lovely godson. And so always have a bit of crap in your room because it brings personality, says more about you.